So assignment three is going to be approached in a similar way that you approached the previous assignment, but this is going to be a larger, longer, more in-depth, more focused project. And unlike the previous assignment that was more of a personal documentary, this can be really any subject that is interesting to you, that you feel is compelling, that you want to work with. So you're going to produce a documentary photography series or photo essay that demonstrates sustained engagement with a subject, place, or community. The series should be 15 to 20 sequenced images. The work should engage with real people, places, or communities. The series should focus on exploring a theme in depth rather than on a single moment or event. You'll also turn in a work in progress assignment to help you refine your vision about 2 weeks before the final submission is due. So it's going to be graded separately. It's going to be, a series of images that you turn in that are kind of a work in progress, along with a statement of your plan for your project and how you're going to complete it and execute it the last, remainder of the project. So just a real suggestion, choose a subject you can access repeatedly over time, right? I cannot say the importance of this enough. This should not be just one event that you're putting everything into and you're trying to photograph. You should choose a topic or subject that you can kind of go back to over and over again to really grow the project, to change its meaning. So again, avoid sort of single day or surface level documentation. This is supposed to really be about sustained engagement with your topic or subject. The goal of the project plan, right? So the other part of this assignment is a project plan and images that are going to be turned in separately. So the goal of the work in progress is, again, midway through the assignment to help you shape your project. You're going to submit 5 sample images that represent your topic or approach. You'll be turning them in both to the Canvas project plan and on a group discussion, so you can get kind of more easy feedback. So choose 5 images that you have shot so far for your project that represent your project, or are project images that maybe you especially want feedback on, right? So you'll turn in your raw photos to this Canvas assignment so that I can see your work and give you feedback. And you'll also be turning in your 5 images along with a 300-word project statement on the accompanying Canvas discussion. So your classmates can provide feedback so they can read your, around 300-word statement about what the project is, and then kind of give you feedback on how well your images are relating to that project or how they're coming across. So the project statement should address your chosen topic or theme, who or what your subjects are, why you chose this subject, and how you plan to complete the project, right? Your shooting schedule, access, style approach, that kind of thing. This sub-project is really meant for feedback and refinement, right? It won't be graded as a final work, but will be graded as an effort in progress. So I'm looking less for perfect, fine-tuned photographs and more images that represent, what sort of style you're leaning towards, or what areas you kind of want to work on. It doesn't have to be complete and finished as its own thing. So for this series, the documentary series, you're going to be turning in 15 to 20 original photographs forming a cohesive photographic series or photo essay. So the photographs should be documentary in nature unless you have another plan. If you have a compelling alternate style or concept, by all means, contact me. We can discuss your ideas, come up with strategies. Documentary is sort of a default here, a documentary aesthetic. But again, if that's not your aesthetic and that's not what you want to go for, that is just fine. I definitely, looking for alternate photographic styles or techniques if that's something that's interesting to you. The images should be sequenced with intention to communicate a narrative or thematic arc, right? So definitely I'm looking at how you're sequencing these, the order that you're having us view them, that should be meaningful. A sequence series of photographs labeled in order is what you're going to be submitting. So the JPEG images should be uploaded to Flickr, and you should upload them in order, sequence, so we can see them, 1 through 15 or 20. And then you should upload your raw files to the Canvas assignment, so I can see them for grading. So for this series, if you wanted to do post-process on these, change these in any way, that is absolutely fine. I definitely welcome that. But you do need to also turn in your original file. So the class can see and give feedback on your post-processing technique, what you're doing, cropping, conversion to black and white, tonal adjustment, that kind of thing. So we can give you feedback on those areas as well. It's helpful if you turn in the original unaltered JPEG with the altered version. So that's definitely an option. So you're going to be also creating a photo essay that accompanies this project. A 500 around, at least 500 word photo essay explaining the topic, process, and significance of the work. So the text should contextualize the series by describing your subject and topic. Explain why you chose the topic, why it matters to you, how you approach photographing it. Reflect on what you discovered during the project and what the work reveals. So you're welcome to add textual components to accompany your images if you want to. You can integrate the text into the photo essay by including titles, captions, quotes, narrative text, poetry, or even your own reflections. Any of those things are fine. Not required. It depends on how you want to approach it. But the 500-word essay should really kind of summarize the significance of the project and how you went about it. So how you'll be evaluated. Clarity of concept. Is there a clear theme or story here? Are the images cohesive? Do they all work together for one project? Is there any redundancy, right? Could you have maybe edited or chosen different images that would say something a little bit more meaningful or more clear? That you've engaged with the subject. You want to see that. Does the work show depth, access, and respect for the topic or community or people that are being photographed? Visual quality. I'm looking at your technical execution. All the ways that you approached your subjects technically, right? So looking at lighting, looking at composition, looking at camera control, all of those things. For the written component, right? Is it cohesive? Is there clarity? So I'm looking at how relevant the written component is that accompanies the work. And process. I want to see, evidence of growth and development through the work in progress project. So we'll kind of see where you were at that project and then kind of see, how you clarified your ideas or where you went from there. So be sure to review the text on the assignment page really carefully. You also need to make sure to view all the slide lectures and assignment instructions and videos in the module before you start the assignment. Really use all those as some background and context for giving you inspiration on how you want to approach this and how you want to proceed. It is, again, you can kind of start going through brainstorming ideas beforehand, but by the midway point, by the project, the work in progress, you should have clarified your idea for the most part. Know more or less how you're going to approach it. Have tried at least once to go out and shoot. Have some sample photographs that you've created to show us. And again, normally, if you're not happy with your first attempt or want to raise your assignment grade, you can reshoot and resubmit images to the Canvas assignment, but there won't be a lot of time for that. So after you submit the work, there's going to be a matter of days before the course ends. If there are any images that you want to change before it's graded, just make sure to kind of, you can go back, you can alter those images, but again, it's just a matter of days that you would have to refine these before the final project is graded. So again, this is one work you can't turn in later than 24 hours late. You have to plan ahead to make sure you submit this project, well ahead of time, by the deadline, since the course is ending not long after the project is submitted. And you also need to give the other students in the class ample time to review your images and give feedback. So if you have any questions at all about this project, if you wanted to kind of brainstorm ideas or go over what you've come up with, if you want more, insight or critique of work in progress, I'm also happy to help with that. My in-ground version of this course, we then tend to do a couple meetings in the course to kind of look at progress and go over images individually. If that's something that's interesting to you, I would be more than happy to schedule a Zoom meeting where we can go over your work. So just let me know if that's something that you have in mind. I usually have time during my office hours unless they're booked by somebody else, but if not, we can definitely find a time that works to do that. So this is a great project and a really good opportunity, I think, to expand what you've maybe done in the past in photography to a larger, more in-depth project. So I very much look forward to seeing what you come up with.